Who Am I in Christ? A series on identity. Today we're looking at the letter G for gender, because recognizing the fact that I belong to a specific gender type, that is male or female, is an important part of my identity. Nowadays you get a very special device called a sonar. It is a machine sending out sound waves and then draws a picture of an unborn baby on a screen. Before you were born, your mother and father might already have known whether you would be a girl or a boy. By using a sonar, the doctor can trace the gender of a baby at about 20 weeks of pregnancy, because by then all the organs of the body had been formed. And yet, at birth, the first thing doctors and nurses exclaim is, "It's a boy," or "It's a girl." I wonder how they could know this. Well, it's pretty obvious because boys wear blue and girls wear pink. Or no, wait, they cry differently. Or not, they have different names. Okay, I'm joking. What then? They look different when they are naked because they have different sexual organs or private parts. When we refer to gender or sexual orientation, we refer to the differences between boys and girls in their bodies, having different genitals. I can therefore not choose or decide what sex or gender I am, because I had already been born as either of the two, a boy or a girl. Since creation, God made only two genders, the male, Adam, and the female, Eve. From an early age, children already know their identity and their gender, whether they are a boy or a girl. Apart from male and female bodies, there is a clear difference between the brain of a man and that of a woman. Therefore, they think completely different. One would say they are wired differently. Then we have some behavioral differences too. It seems that girls like to twirl with pretty dresses and play with dolls, while boys like to play with guns or with cars. Small cars in the beginning, and later on bigger ones. Anyhow, it doesn't even stop when they have grown up. But I also see some girls who prefer climbing trees and horse riding instead of makeup, and boys doing cooking and music or dance instead of rugby. Is there something wrong with these boys and girls then? Absolutely not. In the Bible, there had been women like Deborah and Jael who led armies of soldiers and even fought in battle, and men who played musical instruments and cooked like David or Jacob. Unfortunately, people had labeled and categorized the genders with their own definitions of what male and female should be. All girls are expected to be fancy and super feminine like a Barbie doll princess, while boys are expected to be tough and strong. These requirements cannot be achieved by all. When a girl then has a strong personality and different physical traits, not playing the regular girl games, or a boy has a gentle spirit and a smaller physique, he or she might be mocked and given ugly names. And this plants a seed of doubt in the child's spirit about his or her identity. It even creates confusion about who I really am. Am I now a boy or a girl? Even when parents are disappointed about their baby's gender at birth, it can bring doubt. The child then denies his original gender because he or she wants to meet the expectations of the parent. There are, however, some similarities between people of the same gender too. God gave a desire in the heart of a man to conquer and overcome, and for a woman, He gave the desire to be beautiful and to feel loved. He often refers to his children as his bride or as a mighty warrior. Male and female also has differences in their hormonal makeup. Have you noticed, during breaks at school, the boys mostly play with other boys and girls with other girls? so it's type to type. But God had also put in every boy's heart to start liking girls in a different way than just being friends. And in the same way, girls feel attracted to boys and start to giggle when they get attention from a boy. This is called natural affection. When children grow older, they might even get married and have children, because it's all part of God's plan. You may truly dream about the person to whom you will get married to one day, one of the opposite gender. If something is crooked and twisted, we say that it is perverse. This is one of the traits of the enemy, the devil, to distort our lives, trying to get us off track into a different lifestyle. He would even make you the laughing stock if you dare to believe in what is right and good and normal. It is he who plants a distorted desire in a man's heart towards another man and a desire in a woman's heart for another woman. And he would deceive young people today to believe this is the right way. In this way, he creates confusion and doubt in children's hearts about their own gender. Young children, especially those hurt by rejection, watch movies and listen to stories where these unnatural relations between people of the same sex seem normal, and they begin to wonder whether they should try it. When I say I love God, I want to be obedient to His word and His standard. The Bible clearly teaches us that these unnatural relationships does not bring life. In 2 Timothy 3, it is written that in the last days more and more people will be without natural love. They will even exalt themselves above the knowledge of God, trying to claim the right to choose their own gender. And like any other sin or addiction, this confusion will bring a strong hold to your life. Remember, you do not have to drink poison to see if you're going to die, and you do not have to choose the wrong partner to find out whether it's going to be bad or good for you. The word is very clear that God does not approve of these, and even finds it repulsive. God's plan had always been, according to Genesis 2, that man will leave his father and mother and cleave to his wife, and they shall become one flesh. If you think, I might just as well fall in love with someone of the same sex because it's acceptable by the majority, or because you only want to try it out, you will miss the fullness of God's plan for you. You actually steal from yourself. For these lies destroy God's true image in you. You also open a door for many other problems and defilement you most likely will regret in the end. Many people confess that they struggle with shame, with guilt, and with self-hatred. In fact, any sexual sin is like a dirty stain on a clean cloth, which is hard to remove. Unwanted or unnatural relationships are like a trap set by the devil in order to destroy your life. The problem is that you might not see how damaging the consequences will be. God's plan is to bring a man and a woman together, who later will get married and have children, for He wants them to produce a godly offspring. Now, how can 2 men or 2 women be fruitful and multiply and fill the earth with children as God commanded in Genesis? Can you see how the devil perverted God's plan? In nature, there's almost no animal that does not know its identity and gender. They make friends with the same gender, but when they get serious on starting to have a family, they always look for the opposite gender. I did this experiment. I asked some children to sort some bolts and nuts for me, first type to type. After a short while, they had separated all the bolts on one heap and all the nuts on another. After that, they had to fit matching pairs. It was just as easy. They neatly found each screw or bolt a matching friend, which is a nut. Now, which part do we not understand? How hard can it be to see what the natural way is? If you have chosen to escape the twisted plan and go the straight and narrow, I might just as well give you some advice on how to keep your eyes open. Firstly, choose the right friends. Stay with those who make you feel safe and won't dare you to do things you don't want to do. No funny games, no kissing, no removing of clothes, no closets. Secondly, adamantly say no when you sense something is wrong. Thirdly, ask God to prepare your life partner. Dream and pray and wait. And in the meanwhile, keep yourself clean. Do not let anyone use your body for their own pleasure. Next, look in the mirror and thank God for the man and the woman He had made you. He knew that you would serve Him best in a boy body or in a girl body. Celebrate your unique womanhood and manhood and believe the truth about yourself. And then, do not believe everything you see on TV to be right and true. There are beautiful love stories and principles in the Bible of how God had meant relationships to be. And lastly, if you've been hurt by something that happened to you, or you doubt your gender or sexuality, why don't you go and talk to someone whom you can trust, someone who can help you? Because the same God that warns people is the one who loves people, and He can redeem and forgive even those who believed the twisted plan of the enemy. It is the same God who has a special plan for you, and He can preserve you in order to enjoy your gender and prepare yourself for your Prince Charming or Princess Beautiful. It might not be too long before you walk down the aisle with your beloved and stand at the pulpit thinking, wow, God had really chosen the best for me.